You were an FBI agent. Do you think that Jim Comey should have been fired as FBI director?
Yes, for this reason. And I voted for Mr. Trump, but I was by no means a Trump person. I wrote an editorial that he asked me about, by the way, at the White House back early in the campaign. My twin brother, who's a former Marine, a banker, was the Trump chairman in Oklahoma, and here I was the kind of anybody but. But, I mean, the reality is those of us who've been law enforcement, arrest people, and prosecutors, there's a huge line between the two. So Jim Comey's resume is enormously impressive. He was U.S. Attorney here. He was Deputy Attorney General. I was the Associate Attorney General, number 3. He was number 2. I had all the criminal stuff, and he did, but sometimes the Associate Civil, sometimes the Associate Criminal. But he was a prosecutor, U.S. Attorney and Deputy Attorney General. So I think when purportedly Loretta Lynch had that unfortunate meeting with President Clinton, and neither of them should have had that meeting, I think he felt, I need to step forward and say that she's disqualified, and by gosh, I'm going to say what occurred. That's not a prosecutor's, an investigator's role. I never opined as to anything. I shared it with the U.S. Attorney or with the state DA. I never gave my opinion, did so-and-so do something or not. That's not for me to say. I investigate the facts and present them. Well, Comey couldn't take off his prosecutor's hat. The truth is he could have presented all of this evidence for or against Mrs. Clinton to the Deputy Attorney General, and there was one, or to the Associate Attorney General, and there was one. But he elected not to, but to call a press conference himself, which is, in my judgment, very unprofessional for a law enforcement officer to do that, and I think appropriately he was removed.
Are you troubled that he had leaked classified information of conversations with the President of the United States?
Yes, it appeared to me right away as being vindictive on his part. I mean, sometimes you have to just say, I have no comment. Now, it's one thing to see a criminal event occur in your presence, I'm going to bring it to somebody's attention, I'll do something about it. But, to showboat it and give information to the press is just not appropriate. I mean, there are limits. I got in trouble with a Trump supporter once when I said humility is the most important, what do I want to say, important piece of a public leader, attribute of a public leader. What? But I really believe that. And a lot of us, certainly Mr. Comey, was more interested in the cameras and the microphones than his job. I just thought he should have been removed.
Do you think he'll be prosecuted for leaking?
No, I don't think so.
Because?
Well, he was fired.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting.